Welcome to Well To Do. I'm Andi Lew, and I'm so excited to introduce our guest, Cindy Cowan. She is one of Hollywood's greatest female producers, or should I just say producers of all time, making incredible films, storytelling, and also giving back. There's so much spirituality and philosophy in my dear friend Cindy. I've known her for 3 years, and finally getting her on the podcast. We're talking Emmy-winning, Oscar-nominated Cindy Cowan. You are legendary, and you're with us.
Thank
And
you.
I'm so grateful.
So great to be here.
Oh, I know. We've been talking about this for so long.
I know.
This is it. This is the moment. I've wanted to share you and your knowledge with everyone and your stories. And it's really stories that are so healing, which is why I've brought you on, because imagine your entire career helping people either switch off, feel entertained, feel inspired. That's your world. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, how many movies would you have made so far?
Gosh, I don't know. In the 20s, I don't know. A lot. Too many.
Wow. So we've lost count. We've won awards. We definitely love to count those because that's something to be, proud of. But I guess what we really want to know is the art of storytelling, how important it is to share. What's one of the most impactful movies where you felt so proud you just had to share that story?
I think every story you do is impactful for you in your own way. I mean, for me to get involved in a project, something has to resonate inside of me. So, I did a movie way back when about the Bosnian Serbian War at a time when it was so important for the world to know what was happening there. The same time, I ended up doing a project about abortion, which was If These Walls Could Talk, and nobody had done a project on abortion.
Wow.
And now we're going into projects that deal with squatting, which is a huge, issue that people have to deal with, unfortunately, right now. And then we're going into something that has to do with immigration, which obviously
is a hot
on
topic.
The forefront of what everybody's talking about. So it just really depends.
Look, I mean, that's it. There are stories that need to be told so that we can learn, through not just education, but entertainment.
Yep.
Because how we learn is when we're having fun or when we're feeling like we're having fun in this entertaining way. But you were actually an entertainer as well before you were a producer. You started off in a different form of storytelling, which was singer-songwriter.
Right.
Tell everyone about that, because that would have been so fun.
Well, I was a songwriter more than a singer. But I fell into songwriting way back when and just, was amazed that I actually had hits. To me, it was something I kind of fell into. And my first song actually went top 10 all throughout Europe with an unknown producer at the time named Simon Cowell. It was an artist named Sinatra. And then Howard Hewitt from a group called Shalimar was one of my favorite singers way back when. And I met Howard by going up to him in a restaurant, not knowing he was who he was. I actually thought he was somebody I was picking up to take to a set. And when I found out that he was one of my idols, I quickly gave him a song, something I would never do now. And we ended up being his single, and we went top 10 on the R&B charts. I think we were number 3 on the R&B charts for well over a year. So
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Everyone knows who Sinatra was. So, I mean, if you're my age, definitely you knew who she was. So that was something when I learned from you, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool,
It's amazing.
It must have been so much fun to write songs. Are you dancing around your living room and like, what's the process?
I'll tell you, what was amazing is the first time you hear a song on a radio.
Right.
I mean, because I love music more than anything, I just think it's, what an amazing thing to hear and do, or to see the billboard with music. As much as I love film, music is it for me. I probably should have taken that field and stayed there, but, they're both amazing.
Well, you were around that a lot, like your dad with his hotel and having in Florida so many celebrities around you from such a young age when you were a little girl.
Yeah.
I mean, that was quite an impressionable way to grow up, but he kept you very humble. And best advice I heard, you said that he said to you, just treat celebrities like they're normal people.
Yeah. And to this day, I still do. I used to be infamous for movie nights at my house way back when, but strangely, I wouldn't let anybody sit on a chair or a couch. We all sat on the floor. And you never knew if you were sitting next to the waiter from the restaurant that might have waited on you the night before, or an Oscar winner. And it's interesting because I had somebody from Vanity Fair at one point that came that wanted to do a story on it. I'm like, no, this is a safe place. And it is supposed to be that everybody, once you're on the floor, you're just like everybody else, and you would never know who you were sitting next to.
So I just got goosebumps when you said that. I feel privileged that I got to go to one of your house parties, and well, many, but this particular one, you had these incredible singers. Your father gave you the Frank Sinatra piano that he gave him.
Yep.
And now that's in your home, and people that may have come off television shows, like reality television shows that, want to be in this company is, now, so it's going to live with them. It's inspiring them, right? So some of us were sitting on the floor.
Yep.
I was sitting next to someone I didn't know, as you say, and it didn't matter. We were all on that same level of let's create, let's entertain.
And I've done that with singers at my house. My house is just always supposed to be a safe place. And it's interesting. I used to do very big Thanksgivings. I kind of, since COVID, have made them quite small. Yeah. I just prefer a bit smaller these days. But you never knew if you came to my Thanksgiving. Seal played at one, Boy George played at one, but you could have just come in third on The Voice, or you could have been singing on a street corner and I happened to have passed you. I just think that people are so interesting, and I'm fascinated by what they do, and the ability to put them all in a room together is something that I just love.
Well, that's actually a special talent in itself, being the great networker that you are and bringing creatives together like that. When you say it could be someone that I just passed, literally that's how you meet people.
It could be. Yes, it could be.
That's how you discover talent, don't you? Do you think it's because, we live in this big, well-oiled machine of Los Angeles where you have the melting pot of the most creative people in the world all in this town? I mean, where does this come from?
No, I think I'm just curious about people, and maybe it's the psychology background of me. And I've been blessed and fortunate enough to have navigated this weird road, and I'm still going up. I am thoroughly of the belief that at some point we're all going down and we're going to meet in the middle. And so I just think you have to be nice to everybody. You never know at what point you're going to be up or down the ladder. So
it could be any of us.
Yeah, so just be kind to everybody. Everybody.
You're not just saying that. In all the times that I've known Cindy, she's always, reminding us that we need to give the food to the homeless person that we see. And there's a lot of homelessness in LA. There's a lot of issues all around the world, but in particular in your own neighborhood, you see it and you can't walk past it. And that's fantastic about you, that philanthropic, just endeavors that are just part of your life.
Yeah.
I honestly think that keeps you so energized, if I may say, because this is a wellness show. I'd love for people to understand that philanthropy can make you well, vitalistic, have energy, right? Because you remember how grateful you are and how blessed you are when you realize everybody else can have less.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And every single person can get back. I hear so many people saying, well, you're in this position or that position, and so it's easy for you. And I'm like, no, it's easy for anybody. It really is. Everybody has something that they can give away. And that saying of one man's trash is another man's treasure is absolutely true. And so just, again, try to be kind to everybody. It could be a hug. It could be a hello. It could be half of a sandwich. It could be a blanket you're about to toss. You just never know.
And those are the things I know you've done.
Yeah.
You're always,
I have.
You literally are doing those things.
Everyone knows that if they come to a Thanksgiving at my house, that people will frequently say, you've got so much food here. And I'm like, no. We don't. We actually don't have enough, because half of the food will be given to homeless the very next day. That is a thing that every single year I will do, no matter what.
You absolutely do. And you actually weave in spirituality into this. Yeah. But before I go on to that topic, which is so wildly important in terms of wellness, it's really more about, I guess, the psychology background that you said that you had. I want to sort of deep dive into that because it's something that I've always wanted to share on the podcast. You and I, as women, have so much fun. Obviously, you're a very attractive, sexy lady and, this ageless, timeless beauty. And so people that are watching you now would probably be very curious to learn that you have studied sex therapy. Yes. Wow. So you studied at Harvard, right? But then you never went to practice as a sex therapist.
I did. So for a while I was helping abused and foster children.
Right.
And it became very heavy because, a lot of times I would work with these children for a long period of time, and I would recommend that they not be given back to the families.
Oh.
And especially in New Orleans, if a parent at that point at least had given their child away for 6 months and wanted them back, they could take them back. And it just broke my heart too much. So when I went into sex therapy without children to really go into it, it was a much safer space for me. A little bit tough for the boyfriends I was dating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, some of them were totally freaked out that that was my background. But for others, look, I'm on sets a lot, and we're sitting there sometimes 17 hours a day. And it is incredible, the stories, sometimes I don't want to hear,
Yeah.
that people, when they realize there's a safe place to tell it,
Right.
will start to share. And everybody's got a story, and everybody's got something that they have to deal with.
Right.
I think once they realize that they can share it, it becomes not as big of a deal in the best of ways.
What is sex therapy? Like, if just to dumb it right down for people that have no idea, because it really is psychology based.
Right.
But people think that it was probably, hands-on, but it's not.
No, so sex therapy deals with anything that you want to deal with in regards to sex, whether you're an inorgasmic female or a man who is impotent, or any number of things, fetishes. Sex therapy
Really?
goes into anything that you might think is out of the ordinary that you need help with.
I see. So while you were practicing, what kind of really rocked your world? Was there a story there? Like, I have so many stories when, I was donating, I was working with, chiropractors, and they were donating their times at homeless. Oh my gosh, I'm like just fumbling over it, honestly, because a man walked out once after his first chiropractic adjustment, a homeless man. And I said to the chiropractor at the time, like, what actually happened in there? Because he looks like a different person. And he said it was the first time anyone ever laid his hands on him in a positive, safe manner. Right. And the man was like in his 60s. So, stories like that, when you're really serving, really stick with me. What was a story that you found, when you were serving others with your therapy? Was there anything that just kind of stuck?
It's amazing how many men and women walk around with the embarrassment and shame of having been molested at an early age.
Right.
And not talking about it. And then realizing there is a safe place to talk about it, and that they're not alone. And that just by uttering what has happened to them, there's a freedom that comes with that. That they don't have to walk around in secretive or shame or guilt, because they didn't ask for this.
No.
And once you start talking to them like a human and start relating to them or letting them know that they're not alone, no matter how many stories that they hear, there's just a freedom that comes out and a lightness that happens. And it's happened over and over and over with, even today, when people find out that this is a background of mine, it is incredible how many of those stories come out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes, I can imagine that.
Yeah.
They've probably felt so safe in your space.
Yeah.
And it's another layer.
It's another layer.
It's another layer. And they're finally like, wow, you're the one that I can talk to. So a lot of people do share everything with you.
They do.
They feel very safe to overshare.
Yeah.
And you welcome that with such spiritual arms, in terms of there is never really judgment in that, you adapt all religions. You're in love with all of the religions, bringing them together and kind of making sense of just we are all one. This is unity, right? So tell me more about how you started getting obsessed with all of the religions.
I have always been obsessed, and I think because I love to travel, it's made me even more obsessed with it. I was raised Jewish, and I'm happy and proud of the background that my family gave me. But I think that religions sometimes put us in a box, and I was never totally happy with the box. I just thought that there's good in every religion. And so I wanted to learn about them all. There used to be a guy on CNN called Reza Asatlan. He was probably the most studied man in religions, and I got obsessed with his show. And I just started learning, everything about Buddhism and Muslim and, Catholicism and all of it. And there is good in all of it. I don't understand the divisiveness of religion. And because I think there's good in all of it, my house is reflective of that. And everybody knows that has been there. I try to have every single religion covered in my house, from Buddhas to mezuzahs to crosses, even a Quran. I want to study all of it. And I want to learn from everybody of what makes that religion work for them.
You really are a typical psychologist, if
I
I
really
may
am.
say, just that appreciation of humans. Yeah, it's reflected in all the things that you've chosen to do and what you've chosen to study and how your house is set up and how you want to live your life and creating unity for others. That's something that we can all learn from in terms of having a more well mind and mindset. And is there anything else that you really wish for the world? Like, what are you really wanting?
I mean, look, at this point, I just wish peace for everybody. I like to vibrate at a high level, and I like to try to get people to stay in the light. Anybody who follows me on Instagram knows I'm very into the moons. I'm very into astrology. And look, what we're going through right now is a division of the planet.
Yeah.
And my hope is just that people will try to tune out the dark and step more into the light, vibrate a little higher, which I know that sounds cliche, but it's not. People can go down a rabbit hole of scrolling into darkness. And people can go down these rabbit holes of just being consumed with things they shouldn't be consumed with.
But that's what it's designed to do.
You and I both know that.
As long as we can
there
be
needs
smarter.
to be people like us that, I know that people that follow me have always said that my Instagram is all about positivity. And by the way, I'll say things that aren't positive sometimes because I also want to be a truth sayer. I don't want to act like everything is rosy.
Or because you're
when
just
it's
human.
not. But I try to keep people in the light as much as I can. I try to make people realize that even though things look bleak, they're not. You can pull yourself out of it. And we just, my wish for everybody is just get along.
Yeah.
Find the common ground.
Yeah, we have so much more similar than we do being different, that's for sure. And you were talking about this frequency and this higher level and everything. We really are moving into, I believe in healing, into quantum healing and frequency healing. I think that's where we're going to see a shift in the next sort of 5 to 10 years. It's already happening now. I think quantum healing is going to be $1 billion industry very soon. And people are like, kind of, well, what do you mean? Well, think about it. If we can believe that we can have frequency that can receive messages and phone calls onto a device, that same frequency can be used for good, for healing. For
100%.
Yeah. Actually, on that note, we are surrounded by electromagnetic fields all the time. We're bombarded with what's called EMFs or EMR, the radiation as well. And some people may feel kind of unwell from that. There have been studies where it changes your heart rate, variability, the brain function, and not just from the messages when you're scrolling coming at you 1,000,000 miles an hour, but just from the actual frequency. So if you're feeling this way and you would like something that helps you to harmonize the EMF, we are actually proudly sponsored by Aries, and the Life Tune is a gift for you. It's the Flex that you can take home. I know you've already got one, haven't you?
Yeah, but I don't have this. So.
You don't have the Flex.
Right.
So the Flex is the keychain. Now, anyone watching, if you're keen to learn more, hop on their website and also use my code Andi30. It's going to give you a 30% generous discount. That's bigger than anyone else. I actually said to them, if you can give me gifts for all of my guests, I want a really big discount as well. So they made it bigger than what they're doing on their website. I said, otherwise there's no incentive, right?
It's great.
So with my personal journey, I actually had breast implant illness. And as you know, you were going through it with me when I was literally nearly dying, and I was doctor hopping and trying to find the right surgeon. And eventually I did and had to fly back to Australia to see the professor. But in that time, the EMF really interacted with the heavy metals in the product. And let's address the elephant in the room. Why on earth would a wellness expert even do that? But you'll find out more in my book, Treasured Chest. But yeah, it's certainly something that, we need to be mindful of. So we have your spirituality, your home is set up, which is like a sanctuary. Tell me a little bit about how mindful you've been in your creative space. Like as a producer, you need to feel.
My house is like a sanctuary. Years and years and years ago, when I first bought my house, Rob Lowe had come to my house, and he had just feng shuied his home and got West Wing. And I remember him telling me, oh my God, you have to feng shui your house. And I did. I used the same man. And so anybody who walks in my house will notice that there's water by the front door and water by the back and X amount of weights under my bed. And
What do you
I
mean
go,
weights under your bed?
yeah, so feng shui is all about certain things being in certain places. So it's the metal under the bed.
Right.
If not, I would have had to move the location of my bed to another place. But I wanted my bed to face out onto a hill. So there's crystals everywhere, there's whatever. But it's interesting because people walk into my house and everybody has the same thing. Like, oh my God, your house feels so peaceful.
Peaceful and
it
abundant.
does. Yeah, it really does. And so there's an abundance of plants. I'm very into nature. I'm very into crystals. I'm very into feng shui. And honestly, people can tell me if it's good, I want it. There's white candles burning. I'm just all about staying in the light and staying positive.
I think we can all learn from nature or plants all around you.
Nature's everything.
A lot of us don't always live around nature, but if we don't and we live, in small apartment blocks and things like that, it needs to be a
But you can put plants anywhere. I always tell people again, it's not, people say, well, easier for you. And yes, I live in a place where I've got a big hill surrounded by trees, but you can put trees anywhere. Put them in your bedroom, put them on your balcony, put them in your bathroom. I mean, nature is everything.
Love that. Yeah. Just reminding us that there are ways and getting creative about it. I mean, this is the creative mind of a producer, right? You know, if you don't have it, create it.
Oh, absolutely.
Simply. So in your upcoming productions, I know you've shared with me some amazing stories that you've managed to get the rights to. I don't know if I'm allowed to say anything, so I won't. But if there's anything that you can share with us that we can get excited about, or
I can't say the studios, but the next thing up is a thriller. Like I said, it's about squatters that will start the beginning of next year. I'm also doing a very big project with NSYNC. Based on a true story that happened to them and surrounded by them. NSYNC, the band, going right after the boy band era. And then we're doing a different kind of tale that is about John Lennon, but not your typical Beatles story. Something that I think a lot of people don't really know.
Okay, that's the one that I was hoping you were able to share with us.
I can only share a little bit on
just
that one.
a little bit. So all we know is that Cindy Cowan's making a movie about John Lennon.
A movie about John Lennon.
Wow.
Yeah. Very excited. That's my favorite Beatle. Imagine is my favorite song. So yeah, it's everything.
And just a tragic way of how he was gone. Like the fact that I'm saying that, I still can't believe it happened. I remember sitting in my mum's chocolate brown Mini Cooper in, I think it was the 80s or whatever it was. Was it the 80s? I was so small.
I love Mini Coopers, by the way.
And when she heard the news on the radio, my mum just started howling and crying.
God, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it never left me. I never heard my mum.
I mean, again,
cry.
listen to the lyrics of Imagine today and realize that song was written so long ago.
Yeah.
And every word of that song should be sung today.
Yeah, 100%. Well, you're going to be reviving it with your film. That one's definitely an Oscar-winning film. There's no doubt about it.
I hope.
I just wonder why nobody else has done that before.
Well, we're doing a whole different take on this family and this story that I was lucky enough to get the rights to, and the majority of people don't know about. So, I'm not competing with the Beatles movie. This is something totally different.
Yeah, wow. Oh my gosh, I am so excited for
Me
this.
too.
Yeah, I'm just so proud of you, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, dedicating your whole life to making movies is, I think, something that we should really celebrate. As I said, it's the art of storytelling, but we can all learn how to storytell, starting with our own. In case you haven't noticed, everyone has a podcast now.
Everybody has a podcast. Everybody's got a story. It's good.
And I think that, I guess, is testament to we have to sit down and listen to each other's stories a little bit more. I don't know if you know this, but when I went to Denmark, I learned, and I only started going to these Nordic countries. I'm obsessed with Nordic countries all of a sudden. But I learned that there is a library that has no books, just chairs, and you book a half-hour time slot to sit down with someone.
I love that. I think I just saw that on social media. It's fascinating.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine sitting there and just listening to each other.
It's important.
That's library. I mean, we haven't written it in a book, but we can tell it to each other's faces.
I think it's important. And not only is it important to just be able to sit down and hear someone else's story, it's important to listen. So many people nowadays are losing the capacity to listen.
Yep.
They're so busy trying to talk over them or relate it to themselves or interject, or because they're not used to just a conversation anymore. They're either used to, again, scrolling on their phones or texting, that there's an art to listening, which is so important.
What did you say? No, just kidding.
Right?
I really took a deep breath on that. That is something, the art of listening.
Art of listening.
Coming from a psychologist's mouth.
Yeah, no, I find that I have a lot of friends that have told me over the years one of my greatest attributes is that I listen. And again, as you said earlier, I listen without judgment. And maybe it's the psychology in me. There are so many secrets that are going to my grave. We are taught when we're, studying to be a therapist that you don't share. You share what somebody allows you to share. You don't share other things. So again, there's a safety area here. So again, sometimes I wish I didn't hear it all. It's like, no. Okay, let's talk about this. But, and sometimes I don't want to hear it only because then there's another dynamic to your friendship. And I find either it's,
right,
wow, I've just shared so much with you. Now I'm going to pull you closer because you know something, which is a deep, dark secret. Or, wow, I've shared so much with you. Now I got to push you away because you might tell somebody one day. I think the majority of people feel comfortable with me because I'll try to share something back so they know that there is a safe zone.
Wow, what a skill. Yeah, you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this mutual reciprocity. Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. I'm still going on about the fact that Rob Lowe told you to do something.
I know, right?
So I saw him at the Beverly Hills Polo Lounge once and I was like, man, that guy looks good.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of your wisdom with us, Cindy.
So much fun.
Oh, yes. You must look up Cindy Cowan on her Instagram page. Please share where we can find that.
Yes, it's Cindy Cowan 1000 is my Instagram. Just Cindy Cowan is Facebook. I think I'm Cindy Cowan 1000 on X.
Yes, and you spell it
Cowan. As in Nancy.
We must stay connected with you and
course.
get all that positivity. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Well To Do. If you loved it, share away or just tell us which part you loved.